Hey guys, Dave from Nerdarchy, 4 nerds by nerds. Hang out with these nerds.
Nate the Nerdarch.
Nerdarch is Ted.
In this video, we make monsters more memorable. Hey guys, maybe you noticed these sweet shirts we're wearing from ArmorClass10.com, our official Nerdarchy sponsor. You can get your sweet ArmorClass10.com shirt from the link in the description below. Go check them out.
Because you don't want to dress like an NPC.
So, now on to the video. So, monstrous races playing against type.
Now, you've done this quite a bit. I've enjoyed doing it as well. You've actually got a Grell that's been civilized, got a monocle and everything.
He's not a good guy though, really.
But he's civilized.
Yeah.
In my game, you guys have befriended a mimic, and it kind of like follows you around like a puppy dog.
As long as we feed it every once in a while, it's good.
So it's one of those things like it's pretty easy and amusing to do.
Don't forget Murphy McCrystaltop.
Absolutely.
As well.
the Nothic
that's been chaos infused and kind of altered. So what are we talking about, guys? Right? It's taking your standard monsters out of the book and making them a little different, right? So in every one of these that we mentioned, pretty much the stats right from the book work just fine. Murphy McCrystaltop, a little bit different because he was actually, a Nothic that got enlarged to be giant. He required a couple tweaks. But I think I might have mashed together like a hill giant or an ogre with a Nothic, right? So I did not do a lot of work. I can promise you that. But it's still it makes the monsters unique, right? So that the players can want to interact with them. They don't want to just fight them, and you want to have interesting things going in your game. Well, the way to do that isn't through the mechanics. It can be, but more so it's going to be by the role playing you do, by the descriptions you give, and having your monsters act a little bit different than all the other monsters.
Because some mind flayers just want hugs.
It's true.
I think this one has ulterior motives, though.
Look at those sad puppy dog eyes. I just want a hug.
But you could, what if you did have a mind flayer that has come up with a way to stop eating brains, and he doesn't want to do it anymore, and this mind flayer happens to be a pacifist, or basically is turned over, or something could have happened to him magically that completely altered the way he thinks and interacts with the world around him. And so now he's a completely different person.
And what this allows you to do...
Or monster, as the case may be.
What this allows you to do is it allows you to take this thing that could be utterly horrifying and terrifying to the average adventurer, and it turns it into a... either ally or reluctant ally, and you've got something that's going to become a completely memorable NPC. Because I guarantee you, for years to come, when we mentioned the Mimic and Murphy McCrystaltop, you're going to have things that are like, oh yeah, I absolutely remember that. Those are awesome NPCs. I've got blah, 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 blah stories that I can do with that.
Yeah, and just by adding your own unique quirk to them, aside from them playing out of type as monsters, you're going to create that memorable experience.
Well, and it doesn't just have to be NPCs that your character is going to interact with continuously. It can be the bad guy. It can be the villain. I used a silver dragon against you guys as the enemy, and they're typically good. Mm-hmm. This one had been corrupted by the Vargarians, and so he was had his strange Vargarian parts in addition to being a silver dragon as well. Traditionally a good monster. You could use a gold dragon. You could use one of the Sphinx that are of good alignment. You could use a unicorn. They're celestials in the book. There's no reason why you can't flip them. And here's the beauty of taking a good monster and making it your villain and making it a bad monster. You don't have to fight the party right away. They're not going to attack him right away if there's nothing that lets them know that this angel is different than all the other angels. He might use that to his advantage. He might use it to deceive the players, and let them have their preconceived notions and use them against them and be like, oh yeah, I'm an angel. Of course I do the right thing and I'm good and all that stuff and blah, blah, blah. And they run them through with a greatsword because, he can.
Well, I mean, sort of related to that. I mean, it wasn't a long, protracted plot, but in my game that I ran last night with the fans, I actually used a Celestial as the final boss. And he was set up in a way that it's like, okay, well, he's got a deal where he'll be fine regardless of how the battle goes. And every once in a while, he's used to test people out. So you don't have to have a final battle be, okay, well, everything's a fight to the death. Everything is going to be all happy, hunky-dory. You can literally, okay, well, there's a fight. Monster wins, but it doesn't have to end in defeat for the players. There could be another outcome. You could have it whereas, okay, well, the Celestial is fighting because of something else that's going on.
There's also something I think it's not really playing against type per se, but the illusion of was there. If you remember Dresden Files, Harry early on had a demon he would summon often. Well, not often, but he had his guy. Yeah, Chelsea, his go-to guy. And Chauncey spent a lot of time trying to get Harry to lower his guard, and he completely acted against type every time he was summoned. And even when he got something from Harry, he always kind of made it seem like, well, it's the rules. I got to do it this way. Blah blah blah. And
we're buddies, so I'd cut you a deal. But
yeah, so he does this for several summonings, and that they're just the ones that we read about. So it seems like there might have been even more. Until he finally realizes he's not going to get his way, and he shows his true colors. But that would be the same thing of using the player's willingness to accept a monster's could be different than its true nature against them. And it comes up in my Scarlet Sisterhood game a lot. Eventually, it's going to bite them in the ass hard because Megan always wants to save the monster, and eventually the monster's going to eat her face. I'm going to have to do it at some point. She was really close to being attacked by troglodytes.
Yeah, I'm surprised she's still okay.
But, it creates these memorable scenes, this fun stuff that you're doing in the game. And it's different, it's unexpected, and it's taking something old, making it new without, a whole lot of work.
All right, so it begs the question, how are you using monsters and things that would typically be bad guys against type? Why don't you share that down in the comments below. While you're at it, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Don't forget to jump down to the description where you can find a link to armorclass10.com and get your own awesome shirt and not dress like an NPC.
You can also check out the articles over at nerdarchy.com.
So until next time,
stay nerdy.